Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where we have taken over a lot of Ukraine's steel production, and that is a very important thing indeed. We have, in fact, the vast majority of their steel production at this moment. They do have some up over this direction still, but it's really not very significant. And that's huge. Our main problem now, though, is our front line is really long. And it's going to get a little bit longer. I wish that we could have groups of army groups, like larger formations for this sort of situation. Because the way it ends up working is we end up having army groups that have like a manual division in the front line. And that has to be babysat a lot. I wish that there was a way to get a larger formation than an army group, is what I'm trying to say. Unfortunately, there isn't an automated way to do that. You can definitely manually do it, but it's a whole thing. So this guy is Blitz. There we go. So we're not really too concerned about pushing the front line right now. What I'm mostly concerned about at this moment is digging in on our existing front line, making sure that we've got this all relatively good to go, which it appears to be at this moment. And we need to think about how thinly spread our troops are going to be. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to have these guys, I'm going to edit their front line to be fully spread across here. Now we can see that the infantry are not as over here as we want them to be yet. So for the time being, I don't actually want to do this, now that I think about it. I want to edit this front line to still have this be about here, until the infantry arrive. So we'll give it a little bit here, get the infantry in place, and then we're going to stretch out our tank line for the moment, because we might need to do some changes here. Now, supplies are an issue, particularly up over here. We're working on it. We have some additional hubs on the way being built, and that should be relatively fine. There's this one out over here that could be motorized, and this one could be motorized as well, which would be useful, but definitely not, definitely not impactful at this moment. Okay, so now our troops are mostly in position. So to that end, I want to now stretch these guys back out across the entire length of this front line. Okay, so something about like this should be fine. We'll get our tanks moved over, and what do we have in our reserve right now? Well, actually kind of nothing. What are we short on here? Anti-air? Okay. Yeah, we're struggling with anti-air at this moment. So we may want to toss in a few more factories on anti-air. So I'm going to swap these factories over from being advanced artillery into being advanced anti-air. And we will have to wait for that to boost itself up, obviously. But that seems reasonably fine for now. Why are we attacking over here? They took this position, didn't they, as we were moving? I think we had this position at one point. We don't have it right now. We're currently attacking it, and we might get it. There's no one there. Now they're there. Okay. Now we have this position. And now we'll look to hold this. There we go. So that looks fine. This is not being attacked, or rather not being built up either, and that should be. So for the moment, we're just going to dig in here and work on getting rid of our anti-air problem, because we clearly need some anti-air here. 1145 noted. So I wouldn't mind getting some anti-air built up over this direction as well. We don't fully control all of these states, and I'm putting this as a low priority right now. Our main priority is building up that front line, right? And that's absolutely fine. So this is a very long front line, and the question is, can we afford to make it longer? Because what I'd really like to do is do what we've done over here and over here. And I'd like to punch a corridor to here. and our front line would be about like that at that point. And then we'd just pincer off these guys that are out over here, which we assume that they're there. We don't actually know, but I assume that they have troops out over this way. And then we would be able to just eliminate those, and our front line would be here. But temporarily, our front line would be like 50% bigger than it is. And if you look at the number of troops we have in each location, it's already kind of thin. So there's that. We do have these infantry divisions right now, and that's understood. But it's very thin at this moment on the front. And so I think we're just going to chill. Maybe we take Kiev. We could do this anytime we wanted to. The question is, do we want to take Kiev right now, or do we want to just chill, consolidate our position a little bit, and get our anti-air situation under control so that we can get our recruitment going again? I think that's probably what we want to lean towards doing. So I'm going to bring us up to 15 factories on the advanced anti-air, and we're going to do that. And I'm going to take this factory off of there and put that into the advanced anti-air. Okay, so something like that. And we may also want to toss 5 more factories into trucks. We clearly could use additional trucks at this moment, and we can double our truck production. To that end, I want to get some military factories constructed. And this is going to be 4. And actually, I want this to be at the top of the queue. So this is going to be 4. This is going to be 9. That's going to be 14, which is probably sufficient right there. So let's get that going. That will get us these 5. That'll get us these 4. And then that'll get us an additional 5 here. That's pretty close to sufficient. We could get 5 additional. This would be 8 additional. Sure. That seems fine. So we'll get that all going. That's okay for the moment. And we're just going to dig in on this line. Actually, we're pretty dug in at this moment. We're quite entrenched. I want to check in on Ukraine's situation here. So we can see they're still at 0 manpower. They're still on service by requirement. And yeah, they still outnumber us by a pretty significant margin. But it doesn't matter, because they can't do anything. So that's absolutely wonderful. Yeah, we'll just let them continue to attack us here for the moment, and I just want to consolidate. Our main benefit that we get from consolidation is logistics for continuing our push. I'm actually just thinking, is this a shorter line than what we have right now? It might be. But we also get extra resources by letting the compliance come up back over this direction. So that's absolutely wonderful. I also want to check to make sure infrastructure should be pretty good. It's not maxed down here, and I'm going to do that as a top priority, actually. And that's fine for now. That's in these states, which don't actually produce anything. This state would be a better place to build infrastructure in, but it's as good as it's going to get. So that seems fine. So at this moment, the compliance does need to come up, and you can see that will boost our resource generation as that compliance comes up. So that's absolutely wonderful. What do we have for garrisons right now? 250,000 manpower in our garrisons? Okay. Seems fine. Yeah. I really just want to stop right now, and I want to get our... I want to get our recruitment going. That's a very big deal right now. So we can get that underway. Our advanced anti-air is working through its deficit, as are these trucks. So that'll be good. We've nearly finished up our doubling of our truck production. And our advanced anti-air will be through its deficit in a few days here. We can see they're trying to attack out over this direction. This is not going to go well for them at all. Under no circumstances are they going to be very successful over here. So that seems great. I am definitely thinking about a position like this, but really, I'm very concerned about line length, especially if we're not actively recruiting. So that's why I'm currently taking a break from the offensive here to work on bringing up our advanced anti-air and truck production. That's all very, very important. You can see here that we do need more trucks. We're only at 99% logistics fulfillment, and that'll be absolutely fine. So they're just continuing to attack out over this direction, and this is just going to continue to not go well for them. They're just wasting manpower over here. They're never going to break through this line. What are we at right now for our land forts over here? It's not terribly high because they keep attacking over here, but it's fine. So we are finishing up a bunch of these logistics hubs that we had queued up. We've got this one done. We'll motorize that, which of course will need more trucks. And we can motorize this hub as well. And this one might be able to contribute a little bit. So we'll get that in there. There's probably more hubs out over here. Yep, here's one. We'll get that motorized, and then I think there should be... That's actually about it. Okay, cool. There's this one here. There we go. So we're well supplied in these areas. We're not concerned about supply at all. The only thing that is at all concerning is that we don't have all that much land for it over here, but it is actually getting built. So we're up to 2 levels, and this is now going to be way tougher for them. It was already nigh impossible. Now it basically is impossible. The question now is, are we at the point where we're producing enough? Our trucks are up to 2291. Okay. I'm going to keep our artillery on 5 factories for the moment. And we're going to be through our anti-air deficit shortly here. We're still ramping up our production efficiency on both of these. So that's understood. I'm thinking I'm going to put the advanced anti-air here and then move the trucks up to 15, like this. But there we're starting to see recruitments happening again. Perfect. So that's infantry. That's not the thing that we're most concerned about at this moment. What we're most concerned about right now is getting these tanks going again. They, of course, still need their anti-air and some trucks down over here. So that is being actively worked on. And we'll be through those soon enough. I think this will be sufficient production on those. And we've got so many tanks. We have probably too many tanks in stock right now. But that's absolutely fine. So the real question is, do we think that we can push up quickly enough to take a line like this? That's a shorter line than the line that we have right now. But getting there is a longer line. I'm betting we can do it. I think we can just go for this. As long as we're only attacking with our tanks, I think it's fine. I mean, it's definitely a very broad front to attack on. No doubt about that. But we're seeing gains, and they shouldn't be able to effectively counterattack because our infantry are going to be in a good spot. Right? Our infantry are not participating in the attack here. We're only attacking with the tanks, and that's very deliberate. Kiev is going to be surrounded pretty soon here. I think we just go for it, to be honest. If we could wrap up this war, that would be fantastic. But we're going to get so much world tension from what we're going to take out of this war. It's going to be insane. Absolutely wild. And we'll see who decides to do anything about it. Like the United States of Europe, maybe? Probably not France. Probably not Scandinavia. And the United States of Europe we'd be able to take on. So I'm not that concerned about it, to be honest. Our next target would be Golden Horde. So there's that. To be honest, I would have taken on Golden Horde before Ukraine if we had had the option. But we did not have the option. So I think we just push in here, and our lines are going to get thin, but I don't think they have the capacity to do anything about this. I think Ukraine is going to capitulate, actually, relatively soon. Their ability to make war is basically gone at this moment. Kiev just fell, and with that happening, look at that. Ukraine is 61% towards capitulation. Beautiful. Exactly the kind of thing we want to see. So we're going to keep on pushing through here, and yeah, we're going to definitely have a bit of a slow grinding push through here. I don't expect this to be stunning, not yet anyway. These guys out over here, we absolutely want to take out this pocket. There we go. And we'll get these guys reassigned. Perfect. Okay, so that pocket is taken out, and Kiev has fallen, and at this point, like I said, I don't think that they're in a position to be able to stop this. Our lines are still going to be dangerously thin. Like, you can see situations like this, where we almost lost this defensive attack here, but our infantry weren't in position here. And now we're okay. But we've definitely got some dangerous situations in this line. And it's going to get thinner. This line is not going to get thicker. It's going to get thinner. So that's understood. We may want to get a second army group going. It's going to be an extremely thin army group, but this would be an infantry army group. And we would have this be a commander like this guy. And then the army itself would have a commander like this guy. And then I'm just going to assign this to frontline across this entire front. 7 divisions is not going to be very many divisions to reinforce this, but it's a little bit anyway. And they'll be kind of randomly spaced along the front, so maybe they'll help a little bit. Maybe. So how are we doing on our trucks and our advanced anti-air at this moment? Advanced anti-air seems to be okay. Our truck usage, I think, is probably a little rough here. So I'm going to bump these up to X5, and we're going to take this up to 25. We had the factories on hand. We can, in fact, add an additional 5 here. Or 4. We can add an additional 4. So that's a lot more truck production per day, especially once we work up that production efficiency. We're starting to reach our target line up over this direction, and I want you to attack here. Just wipe that unit out. And you can help out as well. There we go. So that's absolutely fine. And as we can see, this line is very long. Very, very long. And we've got some pretty thin positions on this. Not ideal. But this push alone might be enough to convince Ukraine to capitulate. They are now 73% towards capitulation. So we're just trying to knock them out of the war at this point. That's the goal here. And the question is, just how rough is this going to be after that? I don't think they have that many foreign troops here, but it could be a little awkward. But we're definitely continuing to push out. Hang on. Is that something down here? Yes, it is. Get in there. Get that guy gone. So we're just kind of throwing caution to the wind right now and just YOLOing this, betting that Ukraine is not in a position to be able to effectively counterattack. And I think that's a safe bet. We know they've had no manpower for a long time. We also know that they just lost about 2/3 of their iron production, or rather of their steel production. So that's a very significant blow to their war machine. And as they take losses, they're going to be very hard-pressed to replace them in both men and materiel. So I think that this is probably a safe bet that even though this is a very, very, very long line for our number of troops, I think we'll be okay. But if they were able to get a troop concentration in over in a location like, say, this, they could definitely push through that if they were able to get a troop concentration there, but it's going to be tough for them. Now, we're running into some logistics issues, which is not a surprise given our push, but we have captured some hubs. So that means that we need to motorize these hubs, which is going to put further strain on our trucks, which is unsurprising. So this needs to happen here, and we need to get some more motorization happening here and here. I think if we went through and demotorized some of our useless hubs, we might be able to harvest back some trucks. But to be honest, I'm going to leave them be, and we'll just make more trucks. It'll be fine. So yeah, you can see here we need 2614 trucks at this moment. And I'm just going to toss this up to full on 5. We're not going to have the factories for that. That's okay. And we're just going to continue to push in now that we have additional stuff going on here. The real question is, at this moment, do we need to upgrade any of these railways? And I mean, probably, but it's fine. I'm actually not that concerned about it. So out over here, we're looking like we're going to encircle some of these Ukrainian troops over here. And we definitely want to take action the moment this net is closed. But it's not closed yet. Eventually it will be. But we're still moving forces around over here, and for now, this is okay. So, do we have any other encirclements happening? The answer is not at this time. Although, Ukraine is getting very close to capitulation. They're 75%. I don't think it'll happen quite this episode, but probably next episode. And there we go. These guys are encircled. We're going to head in here, and we're going to wipe them out. Perfect. Or not. We're apparently struggling with this. Okay. Now we've got additional forces coming in here, and it's going better. Cool. So everybody that's over here, get in here, wipe these out. They've got 5 divisions in there encircled, and we're going to obliterate them. Perfect. Another 3 divisions encircled over here. Excellent. That's exactly the kind of thing we want to see. Okay, so we're just continuing to push in over on this side. That's all looking fine. We'll get these 3 divisions obliterated shortly. They won't be able to last very long here. Eventually. There we go. Cool. So that's dealt with. On this front, we're definitely getting a bit of a bulge here. We'll get that taken care of. I'm not too concerned about it. We could maybe try to choke this off right here, but again, I'm really not too concerned about it. If we reduce the size of the Ukrainian army too much, that would give them the capacity to be able to bump up their recruitment law. And we don't want them to do that. So, to be honest, I don't want to do big encirclement maneuvers. I just want a steady push line at this moment. I think that's the way to go. So everything's looking good as far as this push goes, but we're definitely struggling a little bit more down this way. It's not terribly surprising, but we'll have that under control pretty soon. This is looking good. So we have this unit here that can grab, I don't know, like guerrilla fighter. It's okay. And then this guy, he can grab something like Fortress Buster. That'll be good. Cool. Okay, so out over this direction, the frame rate is not great, but that's to be expected. Okay. I mean, we're definitely making some progress. We're collapsing this bulge at this point. It's looking good. There is an oil field out over here that'll fall to us very soon. We don't need oil, but that's fine. We also see that we're going to get the majority of the rest of their steel in this push, if not all of it. Actually, that's all of it. Okay, so we would definitely not mind taking all of their steel, that's for sure. Steel is very useful for us. We are currently at minus 612 steel, so that definitely needs some work. We're working through that truck deficit. Everything looks good on that front. Okay. Well, it is about time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to continue this push. I do expect that Ukraine will likely capitulate next episode, or will overstretch and problems will ensue. We'll see. It'll be one of those things. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Spock, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.